Hey, welcome to part 3 of the hat making series. I have here my lovely friend, who doesn't have a name. I'm thinking about calling her Aisha. If you guys have a name for her, then put it down in the bottom and we'll see what we decide to name her. She's just a mannequin I have when I was doing some Manique art stuff. But see how fun this hat is? I mean, you could mess with the brim a lot to do all kinds of different looks. So, and you can steam it to hold different looks. So, you know, if you're in love with one certain style, then just steam it. Come on, this is not rocket science. Just take your if you don't have a high-tech steam machine for steaming curtains and stuff, then just get your iron and put it on steam and steam it. Then it'll work. All you need is steam applied. It's awesome. It's also how you get interesting little other like puckers and stuff. You can clamp it and steam it that way. And you can get really super creative with your hats that way. So I've gotten to the point now where I took the hat off of the bowl and then I put it on Aisha. And it is not fully together. So I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it inside out so that I can get all of these little pieces that are dangling and I can cheat with my needle felt needle. See? So these pieces that I stuck, remember I stuck some pieces of wool in the gaps because this was a thick, ow, watch out for your fingers. Fortunately, that hit my fingernail and not the fleshy part of my finger. But anyways, what was I talking about? I was sticking this fiber in between the parts that had a gap. Oh yeah, I was telling you that this was thick and thin yarn. So the problem with the thin parts of the yarn is that it doesn't give me a lot of ability to attach it to the previous row in my coil. Now this one was super easy because it was, see all that? Isn't that cool? It would also make an awesome bowl if you didn't want to get too wild on the side. That'd be cool for your keys and other things, paraphernalia, whatnot. So think that way too. Doesn't have to be a hat. It could be a vessel to use for whatever you want. And that's kind of fun. But anyways, this was getting kind of floppy and I had a couple missing pieces because I had so many rows of thin that I couldn't really attach it to each other. So that left gaps. So then I stuffed pieces of wool in those spots, which, you know, worked pretty well. Except the inside that was next to the bowl, because remember this is just a metal bowl that I have under here. This part was not wet. So the top part was wet, so it wasn't fully felting, so I had to turn it inside out. And since I have all this dry fiber needle felt super easily. Not so much when it's wet. Just FYI. It's not impossible to do, but you definitely want to dry your needles too because they rust. Oh yes, they will. You don't want to keep them wet. So I'm just going, remember, I'm not going up and down. I'm going side to side, one section into the other. I'm just going to go around and do that. And then I'm going to redo the whole process upside down, where I'm just have it fully wet. I don't need the net now because it's wet enough and sudsy enough that I can suds on there without, you know, ripping it all apart. Because this part up here is very felted because that's when I was doing my flat coil and I was needle felting each piece together and it was very solid. But this part down here, look at all that. That is still not even remotely felted. So that's going to take some work. We're gonna have to work on that, but fear not, okay? This life is a process There is no incorrect way to do your hat. Just roll with the punches. If it's not sticking, just add loose fiber and needle felt it in place and then resume. Okay, it's not the end of the world. The other thing is, I don't want you to get the false impression that this is a 1 hour job. It is not a 1 hour job, okay? Because I needle felted my coil for a few hours last night. And then I got tired and I just wrapped it around, and you see how well that worked. Well, that does not work. You really do need to needle felt these into place. So don't try to be lazy like myself. That won't work. Somebody is ringing my doorbell. It's got to be, could be the UPS man. I'll bet it is. Because I ordered a bunch of, like 25 pounds of oats, because I'm a survivalist that way. Okay, so we're just going to do this, and I'll see you back for part 4 of the Mad Hatter series. Hey, if you like this series, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to help me come up with a better name than Aisha. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Oh, so you did it.